Alright, welcome back. This is it. I wanted to add a little bit of, I don't know, flavor to this problem instead of just triangles and numbers. This is actually one of the most useful and applicable lessons to real life that you guys can learn in pre-calc honors. Surveyors do these kinds of things all the time, and we're going to do one of those kinds of problems in class. But just to add a little, don't make fun of my drawings, by the way. Just to add a little real life to the situation, let's say you are standing right here, and underneath the word you, at this point here, and for you have a way of measuring the distance. Oh, by the way, this stuff right here, that's the water. You can't go out here, and these are little islands. So you're not allowed to go out there and measure the distance between these two islands. You can't get out, but you for whatever reason, you need to know the distance between this island, or at least the tree on this island, to the tree on this island. Try to get an idea of what the distance is. So, and that's what we're doing here in this problem. But using surveyor's equipment, you are able to measure the distance between where you're standing and this island as 13. Now let's call it 13 miles. And then you're able to actually also measure the distance between where you're standing and this island, which is 29 miles. You are also able to measure the angle between the two measurements. You can see here the angle between your line of sight from where you're standing to this island and your line of sight from where you're standing to this island here is 41 degrees. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is make sure you have your calculator ready, and you need to make sure that it's in degree mode. Alright, so initially, if I didn't tell you that you were going to be using the law of cosines, and let's say this were a problem on a test, which you'll have next week, you didn't know whether to use law of cosines or law of sines. And so the first thing you would try to do is use the law of sines. Well, you'd be in trouble right away, because you would say, alright, what we're trying to find is AB, the distance here and here. So the sine of 41 degrees over AB equals the sine of, and you don't even have another angle. So when you try to use the law of sines, you'd see that it won't work. And so your next step is then to use the law of cosines. So you're trying to find AB, and so we want to go ahead and just write down our equation. AB squared then is equal to, and it's important that you don't always rely on your A, B, and C. Okay, like the lowercase a, B, and C, uppercase. So just understand the relationships, and then it'll be easier to remember the formulas. So this side squared is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. And so that might be a way you can remember it, because it's so similar to the Pythagorean theorem. So 29 squared plus 13 squared minus then 2 times the product of those two sides. 29 times 13, and you should be understanding here you're using the law of cosines, and so that's where the cosine would come in right there. And so then 2 times the product of the two sides multiplied by the cosine of the angle opposite the side that you're trying to find the length of. And so cosine of then 41 degrees. So when you walk your way through the problem like that, it's really hard to forget the formula, and so hopefully that helps. But anyway, you could just type this into your calculator. AB, if we take the square root of both sides, okay, and this is the neat thing about the law of cosines, is this guy right here, you just type all that into your calculator, and I'll work that out for you as well. AB equals, I'm just going to put approximately equal to, because I don't have to rewrite that whole thing again. But let's see if we can get it all on here. Probably going to be hard to do. We'll see. So we have the square root of 29 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 29 times 13 times the cosine of 41. Okay, now you got to be careful here, because I didn't make sure that I was in degree mode, and I already know what the answer is supposed to be, and I'd like to say I did this on purpose, but it's a good time for me to make a mistake here, because you don't want to have to retype that whole thing in again. So when I look, I'm going to go to mode, and when I look at mode, I notice that I'm in radian mode. So that's not good. I want to click over to degree mode, enter, second quit, but I'm back here at my main screen. I don't want to retype that whole thing. You don't have to, and I've shown you this before. I'm going to show you it again. If you want to recall what you just typed in before you hit enter, you have to type in the second key, type the second key, or push the second key, and then push the enter key. Notice that there's the word in blue, entry. Okay, when you push the enter key, it's what your entry was before you hit the enter sign, the enter button the last time. So what I just did here is I recalled what I just typed in, but when I hit enter the last time, I was in radian mode. Now when I hit enter, I'm in degree mode, and it's going to give me the right value. Okay, so you see the answer is 20.999 miles in between the two islands, and that's your answer. 20 point, let's put that there, 20.99, what did I say, 9 miles. Okay, I added the miles. I guess we didn't need to do that, but AB is 20.999. So I just want to reiterate, even on a test, when the test says round to 2 digits, unless it's a dollar amount, you need to round to 3 digits after the decimal. And I'm not going to give you guys any more breaks on that. You know, I'm telling you now, I'm going to tell you again, round to 3 digits, even when the test says to round to 2, because our test generator sometimes says 2, sometimes says 3, and I say always 3. So what I would like you guys to do right now is just do number, I don't know, where do we have room? Do number 3, since we've been kind of looking at that. You do number 3, pause the video, and I will show you the solution. Yeah, might as well. Yeah, just pause the video, we'll do it right now. Let's see here. I want to try to find BC. So this is the one I want. So I have BC squared equals 17 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 17 times 28 times the cosine of 91 degrees. And then when I plug that in, and I take the square root of both sides, then we get, let's see here, square root of 17 squared plus 28 squared minus 2 times 17 times 28 times the cosine of 91, and that is 33.009. 33.009. Not nice. I know you got that right. Let's see here. I'm going to start a new video, and we're going to scoot on down to number 7. I'm going to do number 7, and I'm going to have you guys do number 11. Okay, but in the meantime, I'm going to do number 5. So if you want one more practice problem, you can go ahead. I'm going to have that solution all up here for you before or at the start of the next video, and then we're going to do number 7. Because if you notice, guys, number 7, you are only given 3 sides. You're not given any angle measures, so it's a little bit different. Okay.